Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. My name's Corey, and with me today, once again, to break down Stargirl, it's Vic.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
We do want to let you know we do our show live every Tuesday at 7 p.m.-ish on Twitch. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. I should include that.
Right.
On Twitch, that's twitch.tv/MillerKing_51. You will find the link in the description down there. And just come on by, join the chat. We are currently talking DC's Titans as well as Marvel's What If for the last week because both those shows are gone. And then we're bringing in Doom Patrol. So get caught up on Doom Patrol and come by and join the chat and have some fun with us. So, Vic, having said that, let's break this down.
Well, sir, this week's episode, Summer School Chapter 9 of Stargirl, we are introduced to Bruce Gordon, who is the original, I guess, finder of Eclipso.
Yeah.
He was an archaeologist who basically came across the burial grounds for Eclipso's entity or whatever he would be considered, and when he finds the black diamond, he's talking to Eclipso, who is doing his normal thing of trying to convince Bruce to let him take control of his body so that he can affect his evil will on the world. And Bruce basically succumbs to his wily ways and is taken over. And that's when we flash forward to a number of years later where the JSA, the actual JSA, is attending Rebecca McNider's funeral, and that's Dr. McNider, or Dr. Midnight's daughter, who had passed away. And she was only 10. So that kind of brings me to that like 10-year-old girl missing thing that they did last week, where he was using his mind controlling a bunch of people and trying to get everyone to think that Solomon Grundy had killed a 10-year-old girl. So it kind of fits that, like, that kind of an introduction as to like what he's been up to.
I want to call back. Hold on, while you're still
Sure.
on that, I want to call back to I think it's the episode at the first episode where the kid Bruce, which I think is a manifestation of Bruce, what's his name?
Gordon. Yeah, it's
Gordon,
probably
yeah.
the child. It's probably his childhood. Like, he saw a picture of him as a child, and he just reverts back to that.
I think that that was placed. That could be his daughter, McNider, or
in the first
Midnight's
episode.
daughter. Yeah.
So here's my problem with that. That would look to be like in the 50s or 60s. And we're in current time. For the JSA, if that was like, so I'm going to say it was probably like 20 years between in the way that they talked about it and them researching the history. It was about 20 years from the time when he found Eclipso to the JSA being around. And if that's the case, then I don't think that girl would have been the daughter that he killed, because the time frame wouldn't have fit. Because that if that was like the 50s or 60s, if she was 10 years old and that happened, the JSA was formed, and that group was only like, what, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So, like, because I thought about that too. I was like, I wonder if that's the girl he killed. But then I was like, the time frame doesn't fit up, because if that was the case, then fucking Stripesy looks really good for his age.
That's true. That's
like
true.
Really good, because he literally looks exactly the same as he did in the original.
We'll throw that out.
So anyway, we get Jay Garrick shows up. We get the Flash.
There's we knew this was coming at some point this season.
So we got to see the Flash, and we see that he is there with the rest of the JSA, the original JSA. And they have a meeting, and they're talking about the fact that Eclipso has to be taken care of. We have to get rid of him. He killed Rebecca. We have to put an end to this. And they kind of torment and toil over how they're going to do it. And eventually, they come to the fact that, like, in order to get rid of Eclipso, you have to kill his host, which means if that's the case, then whoever, and I don't remember who was he possessing?
At that time,
No, now. Whose body is he in?
nobody.
He's not, I didn't think so. He's
He's
just
free.
like running around as Bruce, right? As little Bruce.
Well, yeah, that's just a manifestation, though. But
Right.
he originally it was the one girl.
Yeah, it was Shiv. But
Yeah,
but he killed her and he didn't take over anyone's body. So, you know, right now they could technically catch him and put him back into the Black Diamond if they could figure out how to do it. But if he
it's probably
takes
going to take
over,
them. It's probably going to take them 2 or 3 episodes to realize that.
but I think the big thing is they're leading to the point that he's going to possess somebody and someone's going to have to die at this point. So my question is, who does he
Who?
actually possess? And then that pulls me to the point of when Green Lantern comes back with her brother, he's going to possess him, but his abilities are, again, like I said, going to be able to control him more, and they're going to eliminate him through that means instead of having to kill somebody. He's going to offer himself up as a vessel for Eclipso to save, and who I think it's going to end up being is Mike. I think he's gonna possess Mike, and they're gonna have to toil over whether or not to kill Mike, because that decision was taken out of Stripesy's hands, because they held a vote like, okay, we're gonna have to go and kill Bruce in order to get rid of Eclipso. We have to vote on it, and you're going to make a vote now because you've never been involved in anything else, Stripesy, but now we're going to put you in this vote and make this the first thing you do, one of the hardest things in your entire existence. And he was outvoted by Starman, who originally told him, we don't kill.
Yeah. As far as the whole Green Lantern thing, you know what? I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but I'm going to say this: I am aware that she does come back. I think it's this next episode.
Right.
That being the case, I could see them not having. I could see them going down the comic avenue of it to where he ends up taking over her brother's body,
Right.
and then they're like, "We're gonna have to kill him," and it's gonna be they're faced with having to kill him, and then they realize that he can actually help and then get and defeat Eclipso that way, and so they don't actually have to kill him. I have a feeling it's gonna go down that route. I don't think they're actually gonna kill anybody. Now, if they do, I could see them going. Maybe he takes over Icicle's son, and they're left to because at this point right now he's an expendable character.
That's another good point. They could very much, because like I said, it has to be someone with an emotional connection to the group, and there's no more of an emotional connection to the group right now than Stargirl and being in love with that kid. So if he were to take him over, that would be another like really tormented decision she would have to make in order to eliminate him, in order to take over his body. So yeah, no, that's definitely another good choice of person to do that. But I think that that's where it's going to end up leading to when it's all said and done, is them trying to figure out the best way to get rid of him. And I think that the brother shows up and takes over, and takes over his body, and realizes that he can actually he can actually control Eclipso to a point to where he can't be as dangerous as he is. But with that said, we see that the JSA does go and kill Bruce, and they get Eclipso back into the Black Diamond, and then we don't know what they did with the Black Diamond at that point. Obviously it wasn't good enough, because she ends up with it. Cindy ends up with it. So obviously
It ends up in a storage.
They didn't hide it hard enough.
No, they
Well
didn't.
enough.
They should have dropped that down at the bottom of a bottomless sea.
Well, and that's the thing, like in the Mariana Trench. That's the thing though, because what's his name? Icicle had it. That's why Shade showed up to get it from Icicle's storage. How did Icicle get a hold of it? Because the JSA had it. How did Icicle end up with it? Like, that's the real question. Like, I mean, I know that they pretty much ran the JSA out of town, so maybe it was in storage inside that building. But if that's the case and they knew where that was, why didn't he take all of their, the staff and everything else?
Yeah.
Why didn't Stripesy take that too when he left? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But whatever happened happened. Bruce goes in on their family. He starts going after Barbara and starts using the memory of Icicle to mess with her mind. And he ends up getting to the point where he's about to kill her. And when that happens, Shade's disembodied corporeal entity form shows up and he's like, wake up, it's not real. You're not actually seeing him, it's Eclipso playing with your mind, wake up. Because for whatever reason all the bad guys in this show are in love with Barb. And she snaps out of it, and she manages to get home. But in that same time frame, he's also mind manipulating
Well,
Mike.
everybody.
He's messing with Mike too, and Mike, Frost Icicle Jr. shows up, and he's like, your family's ruined my life, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, ooh, this is getting kind of deep. And at first I was kind of like, this could be real, but then I was like, nope, it's Eclipso. I'm not taking anything as real at this point because Eclipso is messing with everybody's mind. He ends up killing his dog. He's torturing Mike. The whole thing is going haywire. And then Courtney comes in with the cosmic staff and puts his hand on it. And for whatever reason, the cosmic staff's energy can break the spell because he's not actually possessing them. He's just mind manipulating them. So that breaks the spell. And she ends up getting him out of the trance that he's in. And he's kind of freaking out at that point. So, Eclipso's doing work. He's just messing with everybody. He's getting in everybody's head. And at this point, I don't think there's anybody left for him to mess with. So it's going to be popping off like the real fight's about to begin. Because I can't think of anybody else that he has to mess with at this point because he's hit everybody.
Not really so much Our Man or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he did the whole thing with Solomon Grundy.
Oh, with Solomon Grundy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess he has hit everybody.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but obviously we know that McNider is alive and he's in the Shadow Realm, which is where Shade is, I'm assuming.
And you'd have to guess. Yeah, you'd have to guess that that's the only place he could be.
So if he is able to emerge from the Shadow Realm, which actually brings up another good point, if he can save himself from the Shadow Realm and Dr. McNider is in the Shadow Realm, there's a possibility that Dr. McNider and Shade could come out of the Shadow Realm because Shade put him in there, and if Shade can bring him back out to help them fight Eclipso,
yeah,
that's a possibility as well. So that's another direction that they can go with it to get, some more help in stopping this big bad who is like uber overpowered and taking out everybody. While Courtney is also kind of rebuilding her power.
Yeah, the staff doesn't work as well. It needs recharging, I guess. I guess you could say it's the equivalent of it being injured and just happen to be back on the mend. I think if they bring it back next episode to where it's working full again, and that's when the battle is going to start. Yeah, it's good. It's fine. I don't really have an issue with that because in the last couple episodes where it was recharging, it wasn't really needed.
Right.
So much. I mean,
I don't think the next episode is going to be the one now that you say that. I just thought about the fact that the way that the episode ended, Pat tells Courtney the whole truth about like the whole killing of Bruce situation. And like, you've been lying to me this whole time, yada, yada, yada. And then she's like, does my mom know you're a liar? She's like, I've told your mom everything. I've been 100% truthful with your mom. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're a kid. You're a teenager. He's not going to tell you all the fucking dirty laundry. Like, come on, think about that for a second. So she goes in hard on Barb and him about lying to her and yada, yada, yada. And she kind of like goes off at them. And while that's happening, Brucey is out there just kind of giggling that he's caused this strife within their family. So I think the next episode is going to kind of we'll probably go more into that whole argument situation where they're just going to have an all-out like family brawl about the lies and deceit that they're all suffering from, and by the end of the episode they kind of come to the realization that no, they come to the realization like Eclipso is behind all of this. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to lash out at you. We all have to turn on Eclipso. But yeah, like there's a mind control monster out there, and you guys are all mad at each other because he's playing tricks with your mind. Come on, give me a break. But yeah, I think that's where it's going to end up going next episode. I like the penultimate episode is still 2 episodes away. I think that's where we're going to see the big break. I think that Eclipso still has to go and mess with, he still has to mess with Cameron's family, I think. So I'm not sure how that's going to play into it, but that's the only other person that's left that he hasn't messed with. And they also haven't brought back the pen. So at some point they have to bring that back in too, because he's going to have something to do with stopping Eclipso.
Yeah, I totally forgot about him.
So that's, I mean, there's 2 more episodes before the penultimate. The penultimate is where they do it, and then they have the big battle. And then we get, some kind of an ending to that. So we'll see where it plays out.
All right, I think that's going to be it for this video. This is kind of a short one and pretty easy to get through. So we do want to thank you for watching, and be sure to check out the show live at 7 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. So on behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm going to stumble through the end of the rest of this. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.